When Liam opened his eyes for the very first time, Cooper had already taken his first wobbly steps. They were born just days apart, under the same warm roof, but into completely different worlds. One was a tiny baby, the other a clumsy little pup. Neither of them knew that their lives were about to become inseparably linked. Liam was a soft bundle, wrapped in blankets, his cries bringing a new kind of life to the quiet house. Cooper, with oversized paws and awkward legs, stumbled through the rooms, sniffing everything in sight, completely unaware of the small miracle just brought home. But then, Cooper caught a scent: the baby. He froze, ears perked, tail suspended, and in that moment, a quiet connection sparked. Neither of them understood it, but something had begun. Days passed, then weeks. The house settled into a rhythm of joyful chaos. At midnight, when Liam cried, the soft tapping of Cooper's paws would soon follow. Every night, Cooper watched from the corner as Liam's parents whispered lullabies, learning that calm voices and gentle touches meant safety. Before long, Cooper would be the first to arrive at the crib, already stepping into the role of silent guardian. Family and friends often joked, "Who's growing faster?" Cooper was now confident on his feet, running laps in the backyard with endless energy. Liam, meanwhile, was still figuring out how to sit up, eyes fixed on his four-legged friend with pure fascination. And during naps, they'd often sleep at the same time. Liam in his crib, Cooper at his feet, ears twitching at every little sound. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Liam's very first laugh came when Cooper chased his own tail in circles, bumping into furniture and tumbling over with a goofy look. The baby's giggles filled the house, music to everyone's ears. Cooper, in that moment, became more than a pet. He became Liam's personal comedian. But it wasn't just fun. Something deeper was happening. Cooper started sensing Liam's moods. When the baby was fussy, Cooper would gently nudge his favorite toys forward. When Liam cried, Cooper rested his head beside him, still, calm, present. No words were needed. Their friendship spoke through glances, touches, and trust. And when Liam, one day, reached out with intention, his small fingers gripping Cooper's fur, it was clear. They had found something precious in each other, a friendship for life, a bond that would only grow. As months passed and the calendar marked a full year, their connection became the heartbeat of the home. They shared breakfast side by side. They played under the sun. And when Liam took his first shaky steps, Cooper was there, steady, watchful, proud. Every little milestone belonged to them both. When Liam smiled, Cooper barked. When Liam stumbled, Cooper steadied him with a nudge. They weren't just growing up. They were growing up together. They became the soul of the household, a living reminder of how pure, simple, and healing friendship can be. They taught everyone around them about loyalty, patience, and love without conditions. Because Liam didn't just grow taller, and Cooper didn't just grow stronger. They grew closer, and that made all the difference. With Liam now toddling confidently through the house and Cooper always a step behind, their adventures slowly began to stretch beyond the walls of home. One rainy afternoon, Liam wandered too close to the porch steps, drawn by the sound of falling water. Cooper noticed instantly. Without hesitation, he rushed forward and placed himself between Liam and the edge, his body firm, unmovable. It was the first time he had acted so clearly to protect him. It wouldn't be the last. That moment changed something in Liam. From then on, every time he stepped outside, his eyes searched for Cooper first. If Cooper was there, watching, tail gently wagging, then the world felt safe. Puddles could be jumped in, leaves could be chased, mud-covered shoes were just part of the journey. Their rhythm evolved. Liam began mimicking Cooper's movements. If Cooper paused at a doorway, Liam waited too. If Cooper inspected a toy carefully, Liam watched and waited as well. Their curiosity mirrored each other's, unspoken and instinctive. It was as if they shared the same thoughts, just in different forms. In the evenings, during story time, Liam would curl up on one side of the couch, Cooper on the other. Sometimes, their heads would tilt at the exact same moment, reacting to a voice or a sound in the story. It was subtle, but clear. They weren't just companions anymore, they were in sync, like reflections of one another. Liam's vocabulary was growing fast, but one word stayed his favorite. Not mama, not dada. Cooper! He said it softly, like a breath of certainty. His very first name for anything in the world. and every time Cooper heard it, his ears perked up. No matter where he was in the house, he came running, because that word didn't just mean a name, it meant home. They were still learning together, still growing. But one thing was already sure. Whatever came next, they would face it side by side. One quiet afternoon, the sky darkened above the backyard. Liam and Cooper sat close under the porch. The scent of rain filled the air. Liam looked up, then at Cooper, and pointed toward the clouds. Cooper followed his gaze, ears twitching. Liam reached into his little jacket and pulled out a blue crayon, his favorite. On a piece of paper resting on his lap, he drew a cloud. Slowly, carefully. When he finished, he handed the paper to Cooper. "This is us," he whispered. "We're under here, together." Cooper didn't know what the words meant, but he understood. He nudged the paper softly with his nose and leaned in closer. And as the rain began to fall, they stayed right there, sheltered not just by the roof, but by the quiet, steady bond they had built, one shared moment at a time. As seasons changed again, their adventures reached further. The park became their new world. At first, Liam held tightly to his mother's hand, but seeing Cooper run ahead with calm, bold steps gave him courage. He followed. At the park, other children would stop and stare at Cooper. Some parents pulled their kids back at first, unsure about the big dog near the small boy. But they soon saw the truth. Cooper was gentle. He stayed close. He guided Liam. And when they paused to rest, Cooper lay down beside him, watchful and calm. One day, a little girl offered Liam a flower. He hesitated, uncertain. He looked to Cooper. Cooper stepped forward, sniffed the flower, and wagged his tail. Only then did Liam reach out and accept it. The parents nearby smiled, quietly realizing they had just seen something rare. A child learning to trust the world, thanks to the silent strength of his best friend. At night, after a long day of chasing leaves and sharing smiles, Liam would rest his head on Cooper's side. The rhythm of Cooper's breathing was all the lullaby he needed. And for Cooper, Liam's arms around him were more comforting than any blanket. Their story wasn't just about friendship, it was about growing, side by side, step by step. Two hearts, moving in rhythm. And the best part? Their journey was only just beginning. But every journey brings its own challenges. Even the strongest bonds are tested. And one morning, a new kind of test arrived. Sudden, sharp, and unexpected. The day began like any other. Soft sunlight spilled through the curtains. Liam was already up, bouncing with energy, ready to head outside. Cooper waited by the door, tail swaying gently. His usual spot, his usual job. Then Liam reached for the handle, and a loud screech shattered the calm. A stray dog had wandered into their yard. Bigger, older, and not friendly. Cooper's posture shifted instantly. The wagging stopped. His muscles tensed. He stepped forward, placing himself firmly between Liam and the door. Liam paused. He didn't speak, but he felt the change. Outside, the stray growled low, its eyes fixed. It took slow, threatening steps forward, but Cooper didn't bark. He didn't flinch. He stood still, strong, silent, unmovable. His gaze didn't leave the intruder, and though no sound was made, the message was clear. Not this boy, not today. The standoff lasted just seconds, but to Liam, it felt like time had stopped. Then, something shifted. The stray's growl faded. It took one last look, then turned away, retreating into the street. Gone, as quickly as it had come. Silence returned. Liam stood still for a moment. Then he walked to Cooper. No panic, no tears. Just a small boy, wrapping his arms tightly around the dog who had protected him. He whispered one word, "Thank you." And nothing else was needed. Because from that moment on, Liam knew. Cooper wasn't just a friend, not just someone to chase leaves with or share snacks beside. He was his shield, his silent guard, his hero.